Have you ever felt like a house was watching you? I'm not talking about creaks in the night or a draft from an old window. I mean really watching you. Tonight, we're going to talk about a place that does more than just watch. It hunts. It consumes. This is the story of the Dionaea House. Our story begins with a man named Mark. Like many of us, he was scrolling online late one night when he stumbled upon a website. It was a simple blog, a personal project his friend had started to document the renovation of his new home. The first few posts were normal enough photos of an old, charming suburban house, detailed plans for the kitchen, excitement about moving in. But as Mark clicked through the gallery, a sense of unease began to crawl up his spine. There was something profoundly wrong with the pictures. At first, he couldn't put his finger on it. The shadows seemed to stretch and twist in unnatural ways, falling in directions that defied the light source. A window visible in one photo would be gone in the next, replaced by a solid brick wall. The layout of the rooms appeared to shift and rearrange themselves between images. It was subtle, like a glitch in reality, easy to dismiss as a trick of the camera or a faulty lens. But Mark knew his friend was a meticulous photographer. These weren't mistakes. Then, Isao Italiano, lurking in the deep background of every single photograph. A shape, a presence. Sometimes it was just a smudge in the corner of a mirror, a distortion in the grain of the wood paneling. Other times, it was more defined, a tall, slender figure, standing just at the edge of the frame, partially obscured by a doorway or a piece of furniture. It was always there, silent and still, watching. Mark felt a cold dread settle in his stomach. He tried to brush it off, telling himself it was just his imagination working overtime, but he couldn't shake the feeling. He sent his friend a text, asking about the weird photos. No reply. He called. The phone rang and rang, then went to voicemail. Days turned into a week. The blog, which had been updated daily, fell silent. His friend had vanished from social media. All communication just stopped. Worried, Mark decided he had to see for himself. He drove to the address from the website, a quiet street lined with perfectly normal-looking houses. And there it was, the house from the photos. It looked exactly as it did on the blow gold, a little weathered, but otherwise unremarkable. There were no strange shadows, no shifting walls, just a house. Taking a deep breath, he walked up the path and found the front door slightly ajar. He called out his friend's name. Silence. Hesitantly, he pushed the door open and stepped inside. The moment the door clicked shut behind him, he knew he had made a terrible mistake. The air grew heavy, thick and still. The silence wasn't empty. It was oppressive, filled with a waiting tension. The layout was all wrong. The hallway stretched out before him, far longer than the exterior of the house would allow. He walked down the corridor, his footsteps echoing unnaturally. Doors lined the walls, more doors than he could count. He opened one and found a child's bedroom, perfectly preserved from the 1950s. He opened another and stared into a vast, empty ballroom that couldn't possibly fit within the home's dimensions. The house was a labyrinth, a physical impossibility. It was a trap, a predator disguised as a shelter. He remembered a biology class from years ago, learning about the Dionaea muscipula, Venus fly. It lures its prey with the promise of sweet nectar, a safe place to land, only to snap its jaws shut and slowly digest the unsuspecting victim. This house, it was the same. It drew you in with the promise of home, of safety, and then it began to feed. Mark frantically searched for his friend, but it was useless. The house was playing with him, changing the layout, sealing off hallways he'd just walked down, opening new ones that led to nowhere. He found his way to the basement stairs. They descended into a pitch-black darkness that seemed to go on forever, far deeper than any foundation could possibly go. A cold, musty smell wafted up, the smell of decay, of time, of things long forgotten. He realized with sickening certainty that the house didn't just consume a person's body. It consumed their very existence. It fed on their memories, their history, their place in the world, until it was as if they had never been born at all. Their friends, their family, they would simply forget. Trapped, with no way out, Mark did the only thing he could think of. He used his phone to get back onto his friend's website. He started documenting everything he was experiencing. He uploaded photos of the impossible rooms, wrote descriptions of the breathing walls and the floorboards that seemed to pulse like living tissue under his feet. He was creating a warning, a digital breadcrumb trail for the outside world, a record in case he, too, was erased. His posts became more and more erratic. The words were frantic, desperate. He wrote about the whispers he heard from inside the walls, about seeing his own reflection in a window, only for it to smile back at him when he wasn't smiling. He described how the house was learning from him, showing him rooms from his own childhood memories, twisted into nightmarish versions of themselves. The house was growing, evolving, feeding on his fear. His final blog post was just a few days ago. It wasn't a long, panicked paragraph. It was a single, chilling sentence. It read, "It's in my house now." But that's impossible. We know he never left the Dionaea House. The house had finally broken through. It had followed him through the screen. The website is still online. Sometimes it's updated. A new photo appears. A single, cryptic word is posted. No one knows by what or by whom. My advice to you: don't go looking for it. Don't click the link if you find it. And whatever you do, don't look too closely at the photos, because some houses have found a new way to hunt. They can reach through your screen, and once they see you, they'll want you to come home. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy diving into these dark corners of the web with me, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You never know what we'll uncover next. Stay safe out there.